Welcome back to AP Psychology in under 3 minutes. No time for intros, let's get into it. So today we're going to look at an entire person's life, just from a physical lens, but still very important. Let's first go into before someone is born, which is known as prenatal. Lucky for you, you don't need to know the stages of prenatal development, but there are still quite a few things to talk about. Obviously, you know that you, along with everyone else, has come from a biological female's uterus, but I bet you didn't know how truly careful a pregnant woman has to be. Any teratogens like drugs or alcohol would harm the development of a fetus. Also, any illness like the flu or heck, even COVID could affect development. The other three that will affect prenatal development are genetic mutations that the woman has, hormones, and yes, even the environmental factors of a woman like her nutrition, pollution, or stress. Okay, cool. So now that we've gone through all of this and the child is born, let's talk about all the physical aspects of infancy and childhood. Here, I want you to understand that development happens in the same order, but at different times for different children. So let's talk about this so-called order things should go in. The first thing you'll see in an infant is reflexes. A good way to test this is with the rooting reflex, which is where if you touch an infant's cheek, they will turn their head and suck. Once these reflexes fade, you start to see motor development. They'll start with gross motor skills like crawling and walking, then later they will learn fine motor skills such as grasping small objects or drawing. Once an infant can walk, perception develops to keep them safe. The visual cliff experiment proves this by showing infants hesitated going off a man-made drop-off point. As children grow, certain abilities like language or social attachment need to develop within certain time windows for best results. Some non-human animals imprint attachment to the first caregiver-like figure they see in their lives. Alright, now let's move into adolescence. However, you probably know this area better as puberty. This is where you'll see a visible growth spurt in men and women. This is also where your limbic system starts to develop faster, meaning you'll have more emotional intensity, you'll take more risks, and you'll form your own identity. But also important during puberty is that men and women both develop their sexual reproductive organs. In women, their breasts will develop, they'll get some body hair, and they'll have their first menstrual period known as menarche. In men, they'll also get hair, their voice will deepen, and most, if they're cool, will go through their first penile ejaculation called spermarchy. Alright, last but not least, adulthood. Essentially, around age 28, you'll peak in physical ability, and it will all slowly decay until death. By that I mean your reproductive ability declines. For women, that will lead to menopause. Your mobility, flexibility, and reaction time will decline, and your vision and hearing will decline. That being said, you'll be more knowledgeable as you would have hopefully led a good life. And I wish that upon all of you. On the screen now are some AP style questions for this topic. Pause now. I'll put the answers on the screen now. I will see you in the next one.